we are joined by Áine, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here.
So, how did you get into the music industry?
That's very unconventionally, actually. I have always played music. I grew up playing the piano and the flute and the guitar, and I've always sort of been part of musical theatre and written songs and things like that. But I wasn't ever aiming to be part of the music industry. I sort of didn't consider that as a career option. I was at university doing English literature and drama, and that was when lockdown happened. So I naturally, like everybody in the world, downloaded TikTok onto my phone and started posting some clips of me singing, just because it was a really fun creative outlet, more so than to try and get views. But I was lucky enough that I did get some views and sort of spread my music to places I didn't think it would reach, and I found the music industry through there.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's unconventional, but it was. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, that's very cool and very interesting to hear about this.
Oh, thank you.
So, who or what inspired you to get into music?
So I have two older brothers who also play instruments. So I think when I was growing up, I wanted to be like them, and I wanted to play the piano and whatnot. And my parents were really big on me learning an instrument, which was great. And then as I grew up, I started to really love certain artists. One of them was Ed Sheeran, really, really big Ed Sheeran fan. And I got given his, like, a sheet music book of his first album. And I think that's where I became really, that's where I really fell in love with lyrics as a concept, as opposed to just the song as a whole. And I went through and learned that entire book on piano, and he was my biggest inspiration, I think.
That's a very inspiring story to hear for young people who want to get into music like me.
Oh, amazing. Do you play an instrument?
Yeah, I play violin, piano, I'm in the choir.
Oh my god, amazing. That's so cool. I always wanted to play violin, but it's a bit too tricky, isn't it? I admire you greatly. There's a lot of work going into that.
Thank you. So, what was the idea behind all your merch that we just saw?
So I design all my merch myself, and I am not an artist by any means. So I think you'd just have a heart attack if you saw the horrible drawings I do of it. But I am really big on merch that lasts for a long time and is good quality. And so that's why all my merch is embroidered, because I think it lasts a lot longer than just your kind of print on stuff. And I usually like to include either the song title or a lyric I really love from one of the songs on the project that the merch is based around. Because the lyrics are my favourite part of the whole sort of musical project. And I think it's nice that you can wear a lyric without it being like completely like Áine Deane merch. I think it's nice that it's a little bit more subtle, because I would wear more subtle merch rather than like someone's face on a t-shirt.
That is like, I love the merch that you've got, and it's really interesting to see how you've come up with this.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind.
So, how do you come up with the lyrics then?
So I have my notes app on my phone, and anytime anyone says anything remotely interesting, I will be writing it down. That includes when I'm like on a date or anything. The poor souls. And anything that any experience I have, I keep it jotted down in that app. And when it comes to, I'm sat at my piano, I'll pull it up and I'll be like, hey, what do I feel like writing about today? What ideas have I already sort of stocked away? And I start from there, but really it's all just real life experiences that I'm putting into some form of story.
Yeah, I think I might use them for like my experiences too.
Yeah, oh, amazing.
So, what do you think about having gigs in the library then?
I think this is the coolest thing ever. I wish that there had been something like this when I was younger. So as I said, I did an English lit degree, and I'm really very big on reading, very big on books. And I just, at the end of last year, did a little tour around independent bookshops and did shows in them. So this is kind of an amazing fit with how I like to explore live music. And I think it's just so cool that there's something so accessible for all ages at a very accessible price, and in areas where maybe the touring routes don't traditionally go. I just think it's I think it's really amazing. I'm very honoured to be a part of it. I think this is the coolest thing ever.
Well, that was very interesting to hear, and I hope we have other cool people like you to
Thanks.
do this.
I'm going away from this being like, someone called me cool. It's the best day of my life.
This might be a bit of a random question, but what is your preferred Starbucks drink?
Oh, I can't say I go to Starbucks loads, but I have the same drink wherever I go, which is very boringly just a breakfast tea with oat milk. I don't drink coffee, even though I've worked in so many coffee shops over my life. I think it's really put me off. So I drink copious amounts of tea every day. So it would be that. But in the winter, maybe if I'm feeling a bit like sparkly, I'll get a hot chocolate.